Middlesbrough's managerial search is really heating up, with Middlesbrough set to appoint a new manager. That's according to reports in Sweden, with Sportexpressen saying that Middlesbrough are closing in on a deal to sign Kim Hellberg as their new head coach. Now, according to those reports, nothing's been signed just yet, but the Swede is expected put pen to paper with Middlesbrough either today or early this week on a deal that would see him become head coach and replace Rob Edwards. Now, this is a move which seems to be progressing quite quickly at the moment. There's very little information to go off at this point. Hellberg is someone who had been very much on the radar of Swansea City in recent days. Of course, they're currently looking for a new boss as well. They'd sacked Alan Sheehan, and it seemed like Hellberg was someone who was going to be going in to South Wales to replace Sheehan at Swansea, obviously a club in Middlesbrough's division in the Championship, and it seemed like he was going to be the person getting that job. But according to Alex Crook at TalkSport, who has backed up this story, Middlesbrough are looking to hijack that deal and bring him to the Riverside Stadium. Now, there's also been further developments with that, because betting has now also been suspended on Kim Hellberg taking over as Middlesbrough's head coach. So this is a deal which is really gathering pace. There's very little information at the moment, hence the quite swift video that we're sending over here. So this is one which is an interesting one. I'm going to try and bring to life a little bit about Kim Hellberg and what he's likely to bring to Middlesbrough. Now, Kim Hellberg's a Swedish football manager. He's 37 years of age, and he's someone who's got a bit of a profile of, it seems to be almost a bit of a growing trend at the moment, where it's coaches who have moved into coaching at a really young age. Now, he played football, of course he did. He played in the Swedish lower leagues as a teenager and in his early 20s, but then he moved into coaching at the age of just 23. So he's really got a good foundation, despite being fairly young, despite being just 37. He is someone who's got a good foundation in coaching. He's really worked his way through the ranks in the Swedish game. He joined Allsvenskan club, IFK Norrköping, as their assistant coach back in 2020. So that's the other Swedish top flight. He worked there for a number of years. Continued there under their latest manager. He then joined IFK Värnamo. He was appointed as their head coach, and that was in December 2021. And then in December 2023, he joined Hammarby IF as their new head coach. Now, Hammarby are one of Sweden's top clubs. During his time there, he's done really, really well. He's like I said, he joined there in December 2023, so almost 2 years ago. He's led the club to 2 consecutive second place finishes in the division. So he's really kind of making his mark in Swedish football. I think that kind of plays into the fact that this source is a really reliable one with Sportexpressen. They're someone who are a very reliable source in Sweden. So they wouldn't be reporting that he was close to joining Middlesbrough if that wasn't necessarily the case, or if there wasn't sort of smoke without fire in this kind of scenario. But it is one that Middlesbrough fans need to keep an eye on, I guess. As it stands at the moment, at the time of recording, there's been no one close to the club who has confirmed these reports. There's been nothing that's come out of the club themselves. Teesside Live and the Northern Echo haven't yet said, as I said at the time of recording, that this is one which is definitely going to happen. Dom Shaw posted an update earlier on Monday morning saying that at this stage, Middlesbrough are still in the early stages of speaking to candidates and aren't yet ready to make a decision on their next head coach. Initial talks with candidates are underway, including Raphael Wicki. He's the former Young Boys coach who has been in talks with Middlesbrough over the weekend. But that was quite informal. So it's certainly a situation that fans will need to keep an eye on. I expect this to really gather pace over the next couple of days, in particular, whether Middlesbrough decide to speak to more candidates, and whether it's just that Kim Hellberg is one of a number of candidates being spoken to, whether he's on a shortlist, whether he is actually the person who's going to be Middlesbrough's next head coach. But the messages coming out of the club last week were that we were going to take our time with this one. It was going to be really, really important to make sure that we did get the right person to replace Rob Edwards, because of course Edwards left in quite controversial fashion, joining Wolverhampton Wanderers. He joined in the summer, replacing Michael Carrick, and everything had been going really well. Of course, Middlesbrough second in the Championship at the moment. It had been a really good start, but then Rob Edwards did have his head turned by Wolves, and that has left Middlesbrough in a really kind of awkward position, really, having to replace that manager. So I think it's really, really important that Middlesbrough do get this appointment right. Kim Hellberg is certainly someone who's very highly rated. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of days, and whether this report that he is close to signing as Middlesbrough's head coach comes to fruition, whether Middlesbrough confirm it or whether sources close to the club confirm it. So it is going to be very, very interesting to keep an eye on this one over the next couple of days. But I want to hear from you, Middlesbrough fans. What are your thoughts on Kim Hellberg? Would you like to see him as Middlesbrough's new head coach? Drop into the comments below. Let me know what you think of Kim Hellberg. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit like, please do hit subscribe, and I will catch up with you next time.